Today, people's needs and preferences are changing at a rapid pace, especially in the face of new information becoming available so quickly. What I liked yesterday, I might despise today and vice versa. Browsing a product or buying it once is a poor indication of me wanting more of that product. Clicking on a notification or even opening an email doesn't necessarily indicate interest. I might do it out of curiosity, boredom, or even by mistake, It's not always enough to personalize messaging based on a user's past actions and transactions or first-party data. So what else is needed? Preference data, also known as zero-party data, collected continuously from users to capture their changing preferences. Now, before going into some use cases depicting the benefits of preference data, I'd like to go over the three main consequences of ignoring it. 1. Personalization is presumptive. So when brands rely too heavily on first-party data, all their data-powered campaigns are based on past transactions and actions, behavioral data that's usually days or weeks old by the time it's acted upon. It represents what a user has done in the past, which alone is rarely a reliable indicator of their present needs. Therefore, personalization that solely depends on behavioral data is presumptive in nature as it doesn't account for user preferences. On the other hand, a combination of behavioral data and preference data gives a more accurate picture of a user's needs, since the latter, as in preference data, is shared by users directly or explicitly. Now, compared to behavioral data alone, this combined data set is more dependable and will likely lead to better messaging campaigns. And it's also worth mentioning that behavioral data can be inconsistent or incomplete due to outages or tracking bugs, and a lot can go wrong if the implementation is not well planned. That was the first consequence of ignoring preference data. Personalization is presumptive. Number 2, ad dollars are wasted. Now, it's mind-boggling how much money brands waste by showing irrelevant ads to people, isn't it? Just because someone visited my website or viewed one of my products, following them around the internet, that too in the age of AI and hyper-personalization, seems like an easy but lazy thing to do. I say this because most brands are not putting enough effort into understanding what users really want by explicitly asking them questions like, what are you looking for? Do you like what you see? Did you find what you're looking for? Or more specific questions like, are you interested in this product? Are you buying for yourself or for someone else? Would you like us to recommend similar products? Or even more specific questions like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite apparel brand and your favorite footwear brand? Amongst the brands collecting such valuable zero-party data, most fail to utilize it to inform their ad campaigns. Heck, most brands don't even stop showing ads to converted users, which is a clear sign of poor personalization efforts. But what if that's not the case? What happens when a brand successfully leverages preference data to improve its advertising campaigns? Well, the ads ought to be more relevant and will likely lead to more conversions. For instance, equipped with this rich preference data, the marketing team can show me ads about the products I actually like or brands that I already love. Doing so is as easy as creating segments and syncing them to Google Ads or any other ad platform. As an added benefit, the data can also be used to reach more people like me with similar preferences via lookalike audiences. Also, once I go ahead and make a purchase, I can easily be excluded from the corresponding campaigns by syncing purchase data to the ad platform. This also informs the brand which of their ads in the campaign are working, enabling them to optimize the copy and creative for other campaigns too. Collecting preference data and syncing them accurately to ad platforms is certainly a good amount of work, but at the same time, this data can be a goldmine for better advertising. More so as third-party cookies are phased out and brands have to rely heavily on first-party and zero-party data. So that was the second consequence of ignoring preference data, zero-party data, that's ad dollars are wasted. Number 3, privacy and compliance go for a toss. Now, every brand aspires to deliver personalized messages and content throughout the customer lifecycle from acquisition to retention and beyond. However, delivering communication based on assumptions derived from a user's actions is the definitive way to violate privacy regulations. Here are some examples. If someone joins our community, we must invite them to all our future events. If someone registers for an event, we must send them emails asking them to try our product. If someone signs up for a trial, we must send them case studies, product updates, company updates, and of course, event invites. Well, besides the colossal waste of resources, this approach prevents brands from finding out who their audiences really are and why they joined the community or registered for that event in the first place, and what kind of content they really wish to consume. So, to summarize, the three main consequences of ignoring preference data are 1. Personalization is presumptive, 2. Ad dollars are wasted, and 3. Privacy and compliance go for a toss. Now, let me quickly discuss some use cases depicting the benefits of including preference data in messaging campaigns. So the first one is self-consumption versus gifting. When a user is buying, say, women's jewelry, it's useful to find out whether they're buying for themselves or their partners by capturing the user's gender and intent data in the purchasing flow. Doing so enables the brand to deliver cart abandoned messages, for example, that are truly personalized. Also, it makes it easier not to deliver irrelevant messages in the future, which is also a form of personalization. Second, preferences versus behavior. Now, users' behavior, browsing behavior, and their specified preferences might not tell the same story, indicating either a change in one's preferences or shared accounts. So in such cases, preference data should be prioritized over behavioral data since it reflects the primary user's current needs. And the third, which I think is extremely important, is celebratory offers. Now, not everyone appreciates celebratory messages and offers that brands deliver on occasions like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and so on. Brands that truly care about empathetic engagement and wish to build stronger relationships with their customers must enable users to easily turn on or off celebratory messages, ideally from a preference center. So that's that. There's so much more brands can do if they invest in the continuous collection of preference data, just like they invest in the continuous collection of behavioral data. Now let's take a quick look at the various tools brands can use to collect preference data. So preference data, as mentioned earlier, is also known as zero-party data and includes any piece of information that a user shares intentionally or explicitly with the brand. When someone signs up for a product, they typically share their full name, email address, and phone number. If they're buying a physical product, they share their mailing address at the time of checkout. B2C services usually ask for demographic information like age, gender, and location, whereas most B2B vendors seek professional information like company size, industry role, etc. Now, some B2B and many B2C brands, especially the ones that are serious about personalization, collect preference data by asking users for more specific information such as their needs or the problems they're trying to solve, the products they're interested in, the types of messages they'd like to receive, or their favorite brand, vacation spot, and so on. These data points, collectively referred to as preference data or zero-party data, are collected via the following tools: surveys, preference centers, in-app widgets, and communication tools. The biggest challenge here is that preference data is usually unstructured since it's collected using a variety of methods and tools with little to no standardization or predefined taxonomies. Therefore, the key is to ensure that the data is collected and stored in a structured manner, ready to be used for segmentation purposes. Once you have all this data available, use it to build segments and sync them to your engagement and advertising tools to deliver truly personalized experiences. Cool? So here's a quick exercise for you to try. Conduct an audit of the various touchpoints in your product where there's potential to collect preference data from your users. Then list the top 2 use cases for those data points and then proceed to list the questions you'd like to ask users in the product at their respective touchpoints. Good luck. Well, that brings us to the end of the 5-part series on data-powered messaging. If you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out the other parts. And if you'd like to dig even deeper, check out the written guides that contain additional context, examples, and diagrams. You can find them all on databeats.community. Finally, I'd like to thank Pivik Pro for sponsoring this series. Pivik Pro offers an integrated suite of products to collect, analyze, and activate data with ease. And they also offer a generous free plan, so make sure to check it out on pivik.pro.